San Francisco Chinatown is the oldest and largest Chinatown in all of the United States, and it is a must-do for any tourist visiting San Francisco. Today I'm going to take you to 5 of the most top-rated, authentic Chinese cuisines in Chinatown. Some of the restaurants and shops have been here in Chinatown for well over 100 years, and it's definitely a great place to go to find authentic Chinese cuisine. But because of the tourist element, even some of the mainstays are starting to Americanize their food. I've scoured some of the top foodie blogs for the best restaurants and their signature dishes, and we're gonna go visit them and see how spot on they are. I've got my list and a ton of cash because, as you know, some of these restaurants don't take credit cards. So let's go. Our first stop is at Begoni Bistro, which is opened by executive chef Jimmy Kwok, who is a Vietnamese-born Chinese, and he and his partner Minh Duong wanted to open something that was a little bit more contemporary. The recommendation here is to try the Peking Duck, so let's go in and order it. This is the Peking Duck, or in Chinese, Beijing Ya. So beautiful. A half order is 20 bucks. It comes with 5 bao or Chinese bread that you can stuff the duck in, and it also comes with some green onions and hoisin sauce as condiments. Let's go ahead and make one. You're going to get a bun here, which opens up like a sandwich, and then grab a piece of duck. Make sure to get a piece with crispy skin on it. Look how thin that skin is. There's very little fat on it, which is perfect. Get some green onions, and then a little bit of hoisin sauce that you're going to spread on the inside of the bao, just like this. To assemble it, stick the pieces of duck in it. The skin, then debone the lean piece of meat, and of course your scallions. You can put more or less in depending on your taste. And I've got a little sandwich that looks just like this. Looks really delicious. The duck is on the leaner side, which I kind of like. It's sort of up to individual taste, but for me, I like it better because you can actually taste the duck and it's not so oily and fatty. The baozi or bun is super soft, so they're like fluffy pillow clouds. Get a couple of napkins, it'll get messy. Overall, I'd give that duck a solid 7.5. I had to take away some points because I was expecting the skin to be super crispy given that there wasn't any fat cut with it, but ended up not being so crispy, but otherwise the taste was pretty good. The one thing I wasn't too super happy about was that they charged me for water service, $1.25 per person, which is what they would normally charge for tea. We're here at Good Mong Bakery, which is on Stockton, and they mainly specialize in dim sum items to go. There's no seating inside, so you're just gonna have to go to the counter and order everything. It is cash only, so make sure you've got lots of that on hand to buy. The recommended item to buy here is the ta sao bao, or the BBQ Pork Bun. There's always a crazy line here to buy things at any time of the day that you arrive here. And they open as early as, I believe, 7 a.m., but they will close down the store once they've sold out of items. So definitely try to get in here before lunchtime. These hagao look so delicious, and they are huge. Here are my pork buns. They look so beautiful and yummy. Look at that beautiful barbecue pork filling inside. And you can see in here that there's a great combination of both the lean pork back here as well as the strip here, which is a fatty pork, which gives it that really nice, rich texture. And this bread here has a really beautiful springy texture to it. You can tell it's going to be really soft and moist when you bite in. So let's try a bite. It's really nice bread, beautifully yeasty, and it has definitely a little bit of the sweet taste that you come to expect from this type of bread. Very, very light in texture. That barbecue is super delicious. The sauce is nice and tangy, and the thing is just exploding with pork inside. Our next location is Chongqing Xiaomian. This is meant to be a fast food style noodle eatery, and in addition to all the bowls of handmade noodles, They also offer 小吃, which literally translated from Chinese means little eats. So these are side dishes, typically cold, although they'll have some hot side dishes as well. The food is made in the Chongqing style. Chongqing is a southern city in China that used to be part of the Sichuan province, but now it's its own municipality. So you can imagine that the food is probably really, really spicy. This is the menu. It looks fantastic, and the recommendation is to get their house special Chongqing Xiaomian or Chongqing hot numbing spicy noodles. Sichuan peppercorns are not known for being hot spicy, but they have a numbing effect over time. In this container is the chili oil, so if your noodles are not spicy enough, you can add more. Here are my noodles. They look yummy. It's a very simple dish, essentially noodles in a chili oil broth. There are large chunks of cabbage in here and some scallions, but other than that, there's not a whole lot else. That's really good. It's not super spicy, so if you like things really, really spicy, I would definitely take advantage of that chili oil over there. But I kind of like the bite that it has right now. And I love the noodles. They're really fresh and they're springy. They're not chewy, so sometimes with handmade noodles, they make them thicker and they've got that chewy consistency to it. But this probably reminds me a little bit more of ramen in terms of the texture. It's actually quite light for a chili oil broth, so it's definitely more brothy than oily. Tastes really good. And then let's take a bite of the cabbage here. The cabbage is really nice. It's very soft, and it's definitely been boiled in the soup for a while, and it's absorbed the flavor of the spicy soup broth. You have to be really careful about inhaling while you're eating your food because that chili really goes down the wrong direction. That was excellent, and I definitely give my bowl of noodles a 10. The quantity for $7 was amazing. I think with tax it was like $9. The service can be a bit abrupt, but you've got to expect that from a Chinese restaurant. It's definitely something that I would recommend. Behind me here is Golden Gate Bakery, and it's a Hong Kong style bakery that has attained almost like a cult-like status for its crispy, flaky egg custard tarts. The bakery is supposed to open at noon, although honestly, they kind of open at random times, and there are days where you're going to come by and they're not even open at all. There's even a website and associated Facebook page to track the openings of this bakery. There's a fresh batch that just came out of the oven. I'm so lucky. They have this original style as well as Portuguese style, which is caramelized on top. So I got my half dozen here, and they sell them $2.25 a piece or $27 for a dozen, and they only take cash. So still nice and warm from being out of the oven. So check out how beautiful that looks. That custard is so golden and it's so crispy, the tart portion of it. You could see it's just flaking off as I'm holding it right now. So I'm gonna take a quick bite. Oh my gosh, that pastry is so light and flaky. It kind of reminds me a little of phyllo dough, of that type of texture and consistency. And I love the custard inside. It's got a very creamy and rich texture to it without being overly sweet or feeling very heavy. So it's perfect combination of textures. You can definitely taste that egg yolkiness in the custard as well. It's so light, it doesn't feel like a dessert. I could probably eat 6 of these easy, no problem, without feeling heavy or filled up. Okay, I can totally see how Golden Gate Bakery gets its reputation for those flaky, crusty, light pastries, and I would absolutely give that a 10. So if you're down here and Golden Gate Bakery happens to be open and the line is not too long, definitely pick up some egg custard tarts. And I only bought 6, but highly recommend that you buy 12. We're at our last location behind me here, and it's Sam Wo's. It's a classic that has been around since 1907. It's probably one of the oldest restaurants that I know of here in Chinatown. The Chinese name, Sanhe Zhou Fen Mian, literally translates to 3 harmonious porridge and noodles.
The original Samuel's closed in 2018 due to health department requirements, and this new location opened in 2014. The recommended dish is juk, a Chinese rice porridge. The rice has been slow cooked in broth so that the grain is broken down and has a soft, thick consistency to it. I ordered chicken in mine, some fresh green scallions on top, and this is a preserved egg or a 100-year-old egg. It's a duck egg that has been fermented for several months. The yolk is gooey and creamy, and the white has a jello-like rubbery consistency to it. Like stinky cheese, it's an acquired taste, slightly bland and fermented with an acidic afterbite. You traditionally eat juk with this. This is youtiao, or Chinese donut. Pop it into your juk here. It will soak and become soft, giving the porridge a bit of texture and salty flavor to it.
That's really nice and comforting. It's just the way that juk should be. So I think even though this dish is simple to make, can't let it fool you. It's very, very difficult to make a good juk because you have to boil the rice with enough ingredients in it, spices, seasoning, broth, in order to give it sort of a richer, deeper taste to it. Otherwise, it just tastes like watery rice. Juk is typically eaten either for breakfast or very late at night in what is known as xiao ye, which literally translates to evening, but it literally means evening dinner. So this is like what you would eat if you were coming back late at night from the clubs or the bars, and it definitely makes great drunk food. So one final note, although I didn't order it this time, the hefen or rice noodle rolls is also highly recommended here at this restaurant. They make it themselves from scratch. Back here is Samuel's, and across the street, we are back now to Portsmouth Garage. This Chinatown is pretty spread out and covers about 24 square blocks, and there are literally hundreds of restaurants here. We have barely scratched the surface today in terms of really good, authentic Chinese cuisine. I'd love to hear from you on what dishes I might have missed from my list today. And if you do stop at any of these places, I'd love to hear your feedback on whether you enjoyed them or not. From prosperous but rainy Chinatown, land of good food, peace out, Geeksters.